fast lane, trying hard to get ahead. They'll do anything, thinking this life is a movie and a magazine, trying to live out what they heard, what they seen. But what good is it to gain this whole world, then mess around and lose your soul? You need to change your plans and understand that earthly treasure is not the goal. No, no. Ooh, I'll give up everything, houses and diamond rings, just to have you.
Good evening and welcome to IITW Radio. It is 8/8/2018. Before we get started, we have a request. We have a missing 90-year-old lady in Crescent City, Miss Harriet Marie Williams. She was last seen around 3 p.m. today near 502 Magnolia Avenue. She's a resident of Crescent City. If you know anything about her, if you'd like to assist, be on the lookout for her. We just put up a picture of her. Let's see. You contact the Crescent City Police Department, and they're asking anybody that's seen her, call 911. The police department might be closed out up there because they have everyone from the Crescent City Police Station out looking for her. Tonight on the show we have Pastor Reese. How you doing, Pastor Reese?
I'm doing well. What about you?
Before we get started, first I want to say thank you for the service to our country. I know you were in the Air Force.
Yes, I was.
And secondly, roll tide.
Roll Tide. Yes.
For you guys that don't know, he's from if you haven't figured it out yet, he's from Alabama, and you're currently in Alabama, right?
Yes, I am.
You even went to the University of Alabama.
Yes, I did. Nothing like it.
With your
One of the
music,
greatest ever.
I'm not a gay man, but with your music and your background, I think I might be in love with you.
I love that. You know, I can take it.
Yeah, roll tide. I never get tired of saying that.
Hey, you can't get tired of that. Hey, that roll tide, real love is just it's a love that runs deep.
Yeah. So this is probably one of the stupidest questions I've ever asked anybody, but do you follow their games during the season?
Oh my goodness, I can't wait. I can't wait for the football season to start. I'm like on pins and needles, just waiting to see what Alabama's getting ready to do.
Oh, I know. I'm just curious if they're going to use their secondary quarterback, or if they're going to go with Jalen Hurts. I don't know. You know, my thing is Jalen. He's been good for us. Tuga, he came through at the end for us. So, you know, I'm not mad with either one of them. You know, but I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. But Nick, he knows what to do. He knows exactly how to handle that. Oh yeah, I just saw where he got paid a ton of money to go ahead and stay there.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. You can't let a legend go.
Oh no.
That's the only that may catch Bad Brian, you know. So hey.
Yeah, I had to go to the Ford dealership yesterday, and a guy was wearing a Seminoles hat, and the other guy was wearing a Georgia Bulldogs hat. And so he gives me the wrong parts. He said, "I don't think anybody from Alabama would even notice it." When I looked at the part, I'm like, "This is the wrong part. What are you trying to pull here?" And he goes, "Well, I just think anybody from Alabama or that roots for Alabama would actually know the difference." And I said, "No, remind me again how many national championships you guys have won." They gave me the right part and kicked me out of the place. But I'd love to talk all night about Alabama, and I'm sure we wouldn't have any problem doing it. But it's not a sports show tonight. It's about your music. I was sitting here looking at your bios, and man, you've got a lot. You've had a lot going on. You've got a lot going on. You've been all over the place. You've been in Georgia and Louisiana and all over the place singing and preaching the gospel and stuff.
Yeah, I have. You know, God blessed me to do a lot of different things. So, you know, when he opened up the door, I was able to go. So, I mean, I'm just grateful for the opportunity that he's given me. So you just have to, you know, allow him to lead and guide you, and just let him do what he feels is necessary for you to do.
Yeah, the song that we just heard was "I Give Up Everything."
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that one, because when I listen to your music, the first time I listened to it, and when Marie told me, she said, you know, it's a gospel songs, and I'm like, these aren't gospel songs. And of course, I listen to him because it kind of has a cross between um, some of the older R&B styles and some of the
Mm-hmm.
newer stuff. So tell us about the I won't give up on. I'll give up everything.
Well, basically, every song I do usually has a meaning to it. I mean, it has a purpose. It reflects on my life. I give up everything is basically a surrendering. Just basically that's what it mainly means to me. It's just I give up. Regardless of what it is. No matter I've been through a lot of situations in life. I've been through a lot of different things. So I realized that no matter what you gain in life, that if you don't have God, you don't have anything. So you have to learn how to surrender everything to gain anything. So I just that song just means everything to me. You have to give up to give to get what God has, and when you give up to God, you win in everything that you do. So when I just totally had to surrender to God in order to get what I needed.
Yeah, I've got a show coming up Friday night, and that's one of the main topics is what's wrong with the country right now. And I had to put up a thing asking a bunch of people to write in what they thought was wrong with our country, and it got everything coming in. It got racism and everything. The thing that they didn't say, the thing that's wrong, and yesterday, as a matter of fact, um, I had a gentleman, and no, it was day before yesterday. I had a gentleman, Calvin O, and he just came up with a song, "One Nation Under God." Today, Facebook took that picture, took his song down. That it's offensive, and it's right up there. I would put it in with Lee Greenwood songs and stuff like that. But the thing that I didn't get from anybody that's what's wrong with our country anymore is that God has been taken out of everything.
That's it. And you know what? Matter of fact, I just did a message Sunday about that. About the need to have God. That the reason why we suffer so much is because we try to eliminate God from everything we do. And when you eliminate God from your life, then you're not living. God is life. God gave us life. He when He spoke life and He breathed life into us. So you can't live except you go to the source, which is God. And when you try to take Him out of the picture, then you have nothing to rely on. You have nothing to stand on. There's no foundation. So that's why things are crumbling, because the foundation has been shattered. Because when you people don't want to hear the truth anymore. We want to live in a society where anything and everything is accepted, and we don't want any standards. We don't want to have any kind of rules, or we don't want to hear what's right and wrong. We just want to live any type of way, and want people to accept it, and that's not pleasing to God. And one thing I said is that I think it's funny how even our money said in God we trust, but we live every day not trusting God. So it's funny, we carry that message around all the time, that we in God we trust, but then we live a life where we don't even trust God. We don't even want God in our life. So we need to get back to a foundation of that.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I had somebody write in and say, well, it's because the country is full of the devil. The only way the devil can get in, or anybody can get in your house, is if you open the door and allow it to happen. And I think the devil gets too much credit for people being just ignorant.
That's right.
God's not going to help somebody that can help themselves.
That's right. And that's the thing. I can't. That's the thing that gets me. People always saying, "Well, the devil did this and the devil doing this." The devil is only doing the good we allow him to do. The battle has been fought. The victory is won. The devil can only do what we allow him. He only has access to what we give him. He can't take anything from us. He can't make us do anything. He can only do what we give him access to do. Because even when he rose from the grave, he went down and he took the keys from the enemy, and he took the keys to hell. So if he took the keys from that, lets you know that he has no authority, no power over what God could do for us. But a lot of times we surrender everything over, and we allow him to take over our lives rather than trusting God and knowing that he's able to help us through any situation in life, that we can overcome anything if we just trust in God.
Yeah, we were talking about our kids before, and I know you've got a 2-year-old there. It's probably going to introduce herself here anytime, which
Oh yeah.
that's cool. If you want to put her on camera, we'll say hi to her. But I've got two of the kids, and I didn't get a chance to tell you because we ran out of time. But two of the kids that I adopted are black, and
Okay.
I let them listen to your music, and
Hmm.
because they're into that, I call it rap crap, and
Yeah.
and I said, you guys listen to this song, and um, was it William?
Yes, it was William.
Yeah, William says, he goes, "Ooh, Dad, I like that." I said, he goes, "Is that Barry White?" And I said, "No." He goes, "Luther Vandross." I'm like, "No," because I listened to the old classics and stuff. Etta James was the first actual black singer that I had seen in
Yeah.
1968 or 69 up in North Alabama when she recorded
Okay.
her song. And like I was telling one of the groups that was on here, was the first time I've ever seen music take. And back in the 60s, it was pure racism. I was brought
Yeah.
up to where my mother, she would have beat me up, but my best friend was black growing up. But it was the first time I'd ever seen music when there was a town that was full of hate against each other. That when
Hmm.
she started singing, everybody started. No, there wasn't any signs. There wasn't nothing. People just quit complaining to each other. They put down their stuff. They were all sitting there and they were just like absorbed in the music that was coming out of her. And it's the same way with your stuff. When I'm sitting there listening to it, I think it's one of the first times I've heard my kids or myself. I get paid to talk, but one of the first times I'll shut my mouth and they shut their mouth, and you actually listen to it, because even though it's gospel music, it doesn't sound like gospel music. But when you listen to the message, it's not. You got to be a Bible thumper. You got to be this. You got to be that. So
And I didn't want to, the music that I make, when I began to do music, one thing I told him is that I don't want to be this traditional type singer. This is not me, because I grew up traditional. I grew up in holiness. I was raised in the church. I grew up. That's how I grew up. Going from church to church every. I think I stayed in church every day. Talking about you got to do it this way. If you wear this, you're gonna go to hell. If you don't do this, you're gonna go to hell. Everything you did, you're going to hell. So I mean, it was like it was everything you say, everything you do, you're hell bound. But I come into a knowledge of understanding God for myself, and I just come to realize that I don't want to be this traditional type singer where all my music sounds like everybody else's. I want to have a sound that's different. And I love Luther Vandross. I like Luther. I love Barry White. I love that kind of singing. And I just wanted to be able to sing and do what I do. My music, and it was so funny that my music is not really accepted a lot in the realm of the uh, society where I preach in and everything. They don't really take it because they look at it like, oh, that sounds more secular than it does gospel. But I mean, but a lot of times I look at it like what it said, a prophet is not even honored in his own land. A lot of times people reject you even, in your own place. But yet a lot of times other people will accept it even outside. And, just to hear how you say you and your family and others. And then I've been in the top 10 several times, and I have people, you know, in Canada and all over sending me, messages about how much they love music. I've even had people in Japan and places like that talking about they love my music, and it's just amazing to me to hear it that they love this music, and it just really blesses me to know that people, are really being blessed by the messages and the music that's being put out by me.
now you started singing. I read in your bios you started singing when you were 5 years old.
Yes, I grew up in singing. I used to, that's what I used to do. I grew up singing because my grandmother, I was real close to my grandmother. That was my heart. That was my love. And she sings all the time. She grew up, if you know what I'm talking, like the do re mi, and she did do re mi, singing out the do re mi books and the hymnals, and she used to sing all the time. That's all she did. She always sung. I used to be at her house, and every time she was singing and always humming, And so, and my mother sung, but I would always go to church and I would just sing, and people would always have me sing. But I would always mock the preachers and I would mock the people in the church when they were singing and stuff. I was always, the clown, mocking people. But I love singing, and singing was a way for me to escape. It was a way for me to feel better. Yeah, singing just helps calm me. It soothes me. So that's what my passion became, singing. So I've been doing that for a long time. That's what God gave me. I just use it for His glory.
Yeah, I was probably the only kid that the preacher ever came down and told to quit singing. I joke around with people like that. I can play drums, but don't ever listen to me sing. Animals start moving out of the county when I do. So you moved to New Orleans and you went there and you were preaching out there.
Yeah, when I moved to New Orleans, I left for a job and I started doing parole and probation when I was in New Orleans. But when I went there, I was kind of in a bad place. I went through a lot in my life. I was just really in a bad place where in the church and everything, and I had made up my mind I wasn't going back to church. I said, I'm through, I'm done. I'm tired of church people. I'm tired of people always trying to judge you. I'm sick and tired of people always got something to say. So, I left. I didn't want to have anything to do with the church or anything. So I got to New Orleans, and I can remember that while one day I was sitting on my couch in my house in New Orleans, I just started crying. I couldn't stop. And while I was crying, I remember calling my mother, and she was talking to me, and she said, you can't get away from what God has for you. And she said, just allow God to take you to the place that you need to go, and everything will be okay. And at that time, it was so funny that people that I didn't even know, they heard me singing, and I had people started investing in me and wanting to help me put out a CD. And I'm like, okay, people giving me, money like $2,000, however many, whatever it took. And they just started helping me put together this CD, and it kind of started from there. And I started back singing and everything and putting out music. So, and like you had said, a lot of times when you were in the band, I got burned by a lot of people because, people see you trying to come and do something. All they see is dollar sign for themselves, but they don't care anything about helping you get anywhere. But I got burned a lot by a lot of people, and it kind of discouraged me. But, God still made a way for me.
Yeah, I remember when I was a little kid sitting in church, and the town drunk pretty much had come in, and they had a prostitute that was there, and everybody knew she was the town prostitute. And the preacher was talking about Jesus and the woman touching his cloak and stuff, and he goes, you know what I could say here? You guys have heard that story 100 times, but he said, and he was a doctor. He was our town doctor. And he came in and he said, when a bone is broken, it heals back stronger than it was before. That bone will never break in the exact same place again, as long as it's healed properly. And he correlated that to when people backslide, and he was saying, we got two broken bones here. We got a man that was an alcoholic and a woman that was a prostitute. They were broken, but now they come back in. So I think that those lessons in life only make us stronger, and it seems to have made your music. Do you think your music would be what it is now if you had just stayed in church, or if you didn't go and learn those lessons, or?
No, I really don't. I don't think my music would have been the way it is now if I would have just stayed and not went through that period that I went through, that period of, just what it is where I backslid. And I just kind of went, forget it. I'm not going to church and not, trust these people or anything. If I hadn't went through that period and really understood what it is that God wanted me to do and who God wanted me to be, I would not have been able to do the music the way I'm doing it. And that's why it doesn't bother me, like the way people don't accept stuff or don't accept my music the way they, I think, people should sometimes. A lot of times you hope that, people that would accept you and accept what you're doing, but they're the main ones that try to tell you. And it doesn't bother me because I realize that God gave it to me in the way that He did for a reason, and it's to reach the people that that others can't reach. So I'm reaching people and I'm blessing people that I need to reach and bless. So I'm not upset, and it doesn't bother me at all. So I'm grateful for every experience I've gone through.
But normally, gospel music doesn't. Like we play a different genre of things. We don't allow any people on here that's going to be, if they want to rap, that's one thing. But if they start talking about killing cops or making things a race issue or, cussing real bad or whatever, I don't allow their music on it. And people said, "Oh, that'll never work. You can't put gospel and you can't put different genres together." Well, you can. Just, country music. If you play it backwards, you get everything back. But you get your wife back, your house back, your car back. But when I mix the music in, people saying, "Oh, you shouldn't have gospel music on your station because it'll make your station go down." Because some people, they just don't like gospel music. Some people are just country. But what I've found is that your songs have been in the top 10. I mean, quite a few times since you sent them to us. And that's amazing because a lot of the artists will send us 8, 10, 12 songs that are up there. So they're always in there. And you have 3 songs that are with us, by the way, which people are asking when you're going to send other music, by the way. But with just the 3 songs that you have, you've been one of the most requested artists that we've had, which I don't find it amazing, but other people that are saying that wouldn't work, it wouldn't work. Those are the ones that are listening. Who is that? That's Pastor Reese. Pastor Reese. That's not a Christian song. Yeah, listen to the words. Just because it doesn't have, he's nailed to the cross and sounds like preaching or whatever, or it sounds like Sunday morning choir. They don't think that it's gospel. But what advice would you have to these kids that are coming up now, that are wanting to get into music or even gospel music, as far as where they should take it?
My advice to the young people now is be who God wants you to be. Don't try to imitate anyone else. Don't try to be something you're not. Find who you are. Find your passion. Find what you love. Because when you operate in what you love and operate in who you are, you'll be successful. You can't be successful trying to imitate someone else or copy what someone else is doing, because you're not being real. You're not being true to yourself. I always use it, say, to that own self be true. So I have to be true to who I am. So be true to who you are. Just be you. God made you for a reason. You are individually and uniquely made for His will and His purpose, and accept that, walk in that, and trust that, and just, embrace it, love it, and just be you. And don't try to please everybody. You're not going to please everybody. Don't try to, listen, take advice, but not take in and know what to disregard. So you have to just find that perfect balance for you, and know that what you're doing is pleasing God. So as long as you're pleasing God, and as long as you're pleased with what you're doing, then go on with it.
Yeah, and I found I was telling William one night, one of my kids, I said, he was like, I got a date. I need some music. So yours to see one of your songs there. Actually, all 3 of them were on the CD, and I said, "Here, play this." And he was like, "Dad, I might get in trouble playing that." He said it's too smooth. No, go out and listen to the words. But no, your music is smooth. It's one of the few things that you found, the music that I've seen, that where people can listen to it at work. They can listen to it in the morning. They can listen to it before they go to church. They can listen to it at church while they're eating dinner. And I don't see where people would get offended by it, which seems to be the big thing now. People getting offended by everything. If it's Christian, they get offended. If it's not Christian, they get offended. So I take my hat off to you on that. You were undergraduate at the University of Alabama, and That's why I just got to stress that again. You'll get more. You'll get more listeners by that, especially at the end of the playoffs this year. And
Yeah.
also, you were in the Air Force, but you also were the superintendent of our IFWPC of America. That's the Christian and or the conference and church musicians.
Yeah.
And what is that about?
Basically, you know, like you said, I did get my undergrad from UA. I was in the Air Force. My career ended, you know, in the Air Force due to a medical injury that I sustained. I had a missile fall on me, you know, from I caught a missile to keep it from basically blowing everybody up. And it messed me up. Basically, I was had temporary paralysis. I had to go through a lot of therapy, a whole lot of stuff. I went through. I suffered a lot of stuff behind it, and they basically, you know, discharged me from the military. So I went through a couple of years of rehab just to get back on my feet. I still have issues to this day from that situation, but you know, to God be the glory that I'm still here. Um, Went on to UA, got a degree in healthcare management, and working in the healthcare field. But and yes, I was the superintendent of the Independent Free Pentecostal Churches of America Gospel Choir. It was a choir we started singing, and then, you know, when I started doing it, I didn't think much of it. You know, I didn't think it was going to be what it was going to be, but it started expanding and getting bigger and bigger. I mean, we grew. We started growing in numbers, and people started contacting us. We would travel and do a lot of different things. So, you know, God really blessed us, and it just opened up to a big array of things. And, you know, and it really was a blessing. I mean, people would just, you know, pack out the church just to hear us sing. And it was amazing. You know, it was just an amazing thing to see. So you know, that was part of, you know, me, you know, my growing, coming to the place where I am today. So I'm grateful that God has gave me that opportunity to grow in that capacity, and just be that man to help other people. And I, you know, basically took that I learned and that music and transferred it into what I'm doing today, you know, making music for myself.
Yeah. Well, before we get out of here, where can people find your music? I was looking on here, and I think just about everywhere it's available.
It's on iTunes. You can definitely go on iTunes. A lot of my stuff has been placed on iTunes. I have not only my music, I have a lot of sermons and different things like that has been placed on iTunes. Not too long ago, recent sermons and stuff that's been placed on iTunes along with other music. Reverb Nation has my music. You can purchase it there. Also, it's on Spotify. You can find it there. You can find it on mainly all the. You can just pull up Pastor Reese and you'll find it. You'll be able to purchase it. It'll take you to a place to be able to purchase music. So it's circulating. It's getting out there even more. So, and you know, I have some more songs that I need to send to the radio station. I believe y'all would really enjoy it. Some more songs I would love to send to y'all and put in the rotation if you all would like them. And I'm want to send some CDs out definitely to, you know, to the public so they can have them. You know, I definitely want to send some CDs to people that if they want to have some CDs. So, and I'll sign them. Also, just whatever they, you know, just. You can go to, like I said, Reverb Nation. You can go to my email address, send me an email. Anything you need to do, I'll respond back to you.
Yeah, we're actually going to be giving away, I believe, 10 of your CDs to the radio station here.
Okay, good, yes, definitely. And I'll make sure that, you know, there'll be autographs signed, and I just want to bless some people because I know, you know, just to hear that the music is top 10 and that people are loving the music, that's just a blessing to me. So I just a blessing to somebody else.
Now, are you up in Tuscaloosa now? Is that where your church is at?
Yeah, I'm in Tuscaloosa right now. Church, basically, church really is in my hometown where I grew up in Pickens County, a little small town, but it's there with my family and everything. But um, I live here in Tuscaloosa. I work at the VA hospital. I work in mental health. I work with veterans. So I'm a veteran myself. So I work with veterans dealing with substance abuse, suicide, and everything. Just trying to help people turn their lives around. That's what I'm doing here in Tuscaloosa now.
Yeah. Are you preaching in Tuscaloosa as well? Is there a church
Yeah,
where people can come hear you at?
yeah. I preach. I preach in different areas. I'm always, if you just get in contact with me, you can find me in Pickens County. I'm there. Um, I can definitely put the address up. I can put the address up, but I'm in Carrollton, Alabama. That's where I usually do most of my preaching at. I do preach at some local churches here in Tuscaloosa on Greensboro Avenue. Uh, also, uh, I just do a lot of traveling around, but you can get a lot of my sermons and everything. Like I said, a lot of sermons. Every sermon I usually preach on Sunday, I usually post it on YouTube or it's going to be on iTunes.
Well, I'm planning on being up there for at least one of the games this year. I wish I could go to all of them. They need to move Alabama to Florida in my county, but I know they're not. Saban's not going to go for that. So, but I'll look you up when I get up there. We'll hang out for the day or something.
Yes, sir. I would definitely love that. I would definitely love to hang out with you. I think it'll be a great thing. I appreciate everything you're doing. I appreciate you playing my music. You, Angie, everyone. I appreciate everything.
Well, the thanks goes to you for letting us play your music, and I'm being as serious as I can about that because without your music getting out there, the world's not going to change. Just like with Calvin O's, the world isn't going to change until things change around. And it's people like yourself that are coming up with good, wholesome music. Not only that's religious, but it's wholesome music that people can listen to and still tap their feet to and not feel like they're getting preached at, but they're actually listening about life's lessons. So I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for your service to our country as well.
Sure.
And I'm sorry that the injuries you took, and the veterans are one of our biggest things, and I think everybody should respect veterans. They don't get enough respect. And also for the things you're doing for the community and stuff.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right.
I really do.
Well, we will put your information up on at the end of the broadcast. It'll go up to where people can find your music. And I look forward to meeting you when I come up. And last thing is Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
All right, Pastor Reese. You have a good evening, sir. And good luck with that 2-year-old. I know how they can be.
Yes, sir. I'm getting ready to go pay some attention to her right now. God bless you. I appreciate it.
Okay, you have a good evening, sir, and thank you. That was Pastor Reese, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, what a nice guy. Plus, I love his music. We have an update on the lady that was missing in Crescent City. She's been found alive. They said she is en route to the hospital to be checked out. It's nice to know that this was sent in to us. I guess, is this by one of the family members?
Yes.
Yes, by one of the family members. They said she's en route to the hospital to be checked out. It's nice to know that so many neighbors were out searching for the lady, and the police activity alone was just awesome.
Yes, and they also said, her granddaughter said thank you with all her heart for everybody's help.
Okay. So something good did happen today. I hate when there's stories, when there's people come up missing and then it doesn't always seem like most of the time seems like it doesn't turn out good or well, if my old English teacher is listening. We've got to go to some commercials here. We have Miss Barbie coming up. Hair by Barbie. I just had her cut mine the other day. Barbie does some fantastic work. She made me look a whole lot better, and I didn't think that was even possible. But she even made Chris. Show him what you look like, Chris.
Yeah, we got to pop Chris on there.
Yeah, get up here. She even did Chris's mustache where he's got the whole handlebar thing going on. We'll have to put up some before and after pictures.
Yeah, we'll do that on Friday.
Yeah, we'll put those up on Friday because he looked like a woolly mammoth before, along with myself. It looked like we were the missing links. And when we left, I think there was probably, 10 or 15 pounds of hair left on the floor.
Most likely.
If she would have charged us for hair by the pound, we'd have been in trouble. But you guys need to go see her. She does all that, that striping the hair and
The highlights,
it's
lowlights,
striping.
Brazilian blowouts. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't go to anybody but Barbie.
it's striping. Okay, she'll
We're
stripe
not
your hair.
zebras.
Okay, she'll highlight your hair, ladies, but she also does guys' hair. She took all the duck stuff off the back of mine.
Yes, you look much better. Check that out.
Unless the cord's running down my neck, it made me look like I've got a bald spot back there. So okay, let's go to Animal Health Center next. Dr. Nagy and Dr. Smith. These guys do the best work with animals that I've ever seen. They also, they care about the animals. So you're not just bringing in a stupid dog or a stupid cat. They look at it when you're bringing them in that you're actually bringing one of your kids and one of your family members. They do dental x-rays, spaying, neutering, dental cleaning, boarding, and small animal orthopedics. The boarding is one of the main things. If you're going to go out, to me it is, if you're going to go out of town and you don't leave your cat with, a bowl of food, don't leave your dog with 3 bowls of food, it'll be gone. There'll be crap all over your house. Take it over there, let them board it. They're open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 7:30 to 5. And then Tuesday and Thursdays. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 to 5. Tuesday and Thursdays from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m.
By appointment only on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, that's by
and
appointment
evenings.
only. And then Saturdays from 8 a.m. to noon. If you show up at 12:01, they might take you in. I'm pretty sure by 12:02 they want to get home to their families. They're working 6 days a week.
They also do low-cost vaccines, and if you look at those pictures, that's one of the most caring staff you'll ever meet.
Yeah, Dr. Nagy, she shut down the office just to work on my dog. She actually saved her life. She had a 5-pound pus bag inside of her. That was just nasty. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, I've got to take her back over there for a checkup here pretty soon. They do dental work too. Cars, community auto repair specialist. They're in Palaca. If you're heading, well, actually, they're all over the place. They're Palaca, Green Cove, and Gainesville. In the Palaca location, when you're heading toward Walmart, if you're on 20, they're right on the right-hand side, just past Taco Bell, heading toward Walmart. Looks like a red barn. And because I've had a bunch of people write in, well, where are they? I can't find them. Look for the red barn. And you'll see there's also a car lot there, too. But they do kick butt work. Their tires, they don't do any markup on their tires. You get them for what they pay for them. The only thing they charge for is the mountain balance. And also, are they still looking for a mechanic?
Yes, they are. And look how clean that lobby is. For a car place, you don't really see a clean lobby very often.
Oh, man.
They take pride in what they do.
Jason's completely redoing the whole thing.
It looks nice inside.
Yeah, they're redoing the whole thing. The counters. I mean, you walk in there, and it's like walking into a coffee shop. They even have coffee there, too. So you guys walk in. They do front-end alignments. Matter of fact, should be announcing tomorrow night, the winners of the contest for that. For the front-end alignment, the oil change, it's complete service. They even they're even going to do an inspection for whoever wins that. You guys only have one more day, less than 24 hours to go in and sign up for that. You can go on Facebook. You can go on YouTube. You can go on IITW Radio, the Putman Way. There's a number of places that you can register for it. You can actually register on all of them for it, and it'll increase your chances of winning. But I want to thank Jason and Tracy for giving us a contest. And this is something they do regularly. So if you don't win this tomorrow night, maybe you win the next time. And last but not least is the stand. Matt and Luann are at the produce stand. Calvin O was in here the other night with us, and he actually got to read their ad for him, and I told him yesterday. And I thought Calvin was going to break into song when he was reading it. He read it so smooth.
I think we're going to have to get him to enjoy some of that yummy produce when he comes back. So.
Yeah, we'll get him to go up there and sing for him.
Oh, that would be wonderful. I'll have to talk to Calvin.
But Matt and Luann, they have the best produce you're going to find anywhere. Not just in Palaca. They have a location in East Palaca right by the weigh station, and they have one in Satsuma right down from my house. And they have the best produce around. Their prices are cheap. which is a lot cheaper than I thought. You know, you think when you go to a produce stand, I'm going to get gouged. It's not even like that. I mean, the tomatoes, the cucumbers, they're all
And those
fresh.
pictures, people, are not edited. That's actually how good those vegetables look when you get there.
Yeah, they look good and they taste good. I mean, even their eggs that they sell
Oh my goodness, yes.
are not like the store-bought eggs. These eggs have flavor to them. Their fruit and vegetables have flavor to them. So, but go and see Matt and Luann. Tell them that we sent you over there. Even if you don't, tell them that we sent you. It's a good place to go get your produce. That's the only place I buy my produce from. Okay, let's do one last one here before we get on to anything else. East Side Towing and Collision, or Collision and Towing. That's Bob over there. You guys keep Bob's dad in your prayers tonight. He went in for a heart surgery yesterday, and they were going to put a stent in, and from what I understand, they are not going to be able to put a stent in. They're going to have to bust his chest open and do a triple bypass on him. So you guys keep Bob's dad, and it's Big Bob. That sounds like an actor, doesn't it? Big Bob.
It does. Big Bob. Yep, Big Bad Bob. But yeah, they do 24-hour towing available. You can call 386-227-0003. Please keep in mind that he is with his dad, so today may not be the best of days.
Don't call him for a tow today. Call
Yeah.
me. I'll get Cletus to come over there with his donkey and drag your car back to your house for $1.99. By God.
But they do specialize in towing, custom painting, collision work, mechanical work, and they are located on Highway 17 South at East Palatka, Florida, and they do free estimates. So.
Yep. Before we move on to, and you can get a hold of Bob at, I should know his number.
386-227-0003.
Yeah, how did he get such an easy number? I should remember that because I'm over there. As a matter of fact, he's putting a new timing chain in and stuff on my red truck this week. But man, what an awesome paint jobs he does.
Oh, I know. Look at those beautiful pictures. Those are unreal.
I also got to give a shout outs here before I get going any further. Mama B, hey, let's see, who else will we have?
There is a young lady that Uncle T better remember.
Oh, my niece Rosie.
We're thinking of you, Rosie.
Yeah, Rosie. I always remember Rosie. Aiden's the one I keep forgetting.
I know
Aiden listens every night. I'm sure he's with his grandpa tonight over at the hospital. But Aiden, if you're there, buddy, I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. I'll go up and visit your grandpa and stop by and see you. Maybe we'll go prank a couple of people. And also, Cindy Shaw over at the Rotary Club. Sometimes I say the Lions Club, but it's the Rotary Club. All right, we're going to move on. You know, one of the things that really gets under my craw is there's a few things that I have passion for. I've been homeless. I have a passion for the homeless. I have a passion for our veterans. You know, like Pastor Reese. I mean, this guy took an explosion and got some injuries and stuff.
God bless him for that.
And the other one is children. You know, you got all these athletes kneeling down at the national anthem and stuff, and you got all these actors and stuff, and 444,000 kids in foster homes, and you've got, 2.5 million kids that are homeless, and you've got a couple actors and football players and stuff that are getting up and they're complaining about 2,500 kids that were bought here by drug dealers, and I'm going to get into more of this on Friday night. I don't know what's pissing me off section. But they're bought here. Some of them are bought here by drug dealers. Some of them are bought here by criminals just so they can get in. So the parents that are bringing them here know they're bringing them illegally, and they choose to get, at the border, they're getting separated from them. But you've got people that are homeless and kids in our country, millions, that are going without food, and you never hear any of these actors or anything giving money to those people. And tonight I think we're on part 4 of the guy's homeless. His name is Jim.
Part 3.
Jim.
Part 3.
Huh?
Part 3.
Part 3.
Yeah, partially. Well, we're going to get in that to a minute, but. Oh man, where you at, Jim? There he is. I hit the wrong button. I don't know. I started echoing. That sounded pretty neat. We could do the whole interview, and it would sound like one of those mud bog things.
That's the vocal effect.
We have Jim in the studio. No, I won't do that to you. So where did we leave off the last time? I'll give them the quick update, the quick where we've been first, and then we'll figure out where we left off last time. When I first met Jim, he was homeless. He was living in the woods, eating barbecued rat. Bugs, not barbecue. Hell, you didn't even have any barbecue sauce. But he was living on a diet of basically whatever he could find to eat. Acorns, bugs, rats, anything that he could find to live off of. And he became homeless because he was in a lawnmower accident. He got off a lawnmower. The lawnmower jumped into gear, ran over him, degloved the bottom of his foot, which we showed that. Was it last week?
Yes.
Or 2 weeks?
It was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Showed that. I'm not going to show it again tonight. One,
Yeah,
I don't want to make him feel bad, and the other one is, I don't want to see it. It's just nasty. It's not his fault that it looks like that. They took a section out of his thigh and put it to the bottom of his foot, and it's got hair growing out of it and stuff. And go ahead and put him back on the camera. So then, I believe last time where we left off, there was a girl and a guy that you were trying to help out that came to your house. You had them living there. You told them to get out. Your mom comes by, has them trespassed. They come back in. They're trying to steal your food. And then fill us in from what happened there.
Well, they were trying to steal my food, my possessions, and then they decided to jump on me and attack me, and I defended myself. And
You got to move closer to the microphone and speak up. I want people to be able to hear you.
is that a little better?
Yes.
Check one. Check
Can you
two.
talk just a little bit louder? But you're doing good. Yes, thank you.
Put a little more
Yeah, put a little
volume
more
to-
oomph.
a little more oomph.
Talk from here.
There
Talk
you go.
from here.
Talk from your heart.
It's like a mouse trying to.
Just project.
I'll give it a shot.
It's better.
Much better. Well, some people had decided they were going to move into my house, and when cops and my parents and I told them that they can't stay there, they didn't accept that. And a couple days later, meanwhile, I was on bond for an aggravated assault with deadly weapon that was I wasn't guilty of. Anyway, while I was on bond for that, they tried to break into my house and steal my stuff, attack me. I fought back, and they called the police in, told them I attacked them with a machete, and they arrested me for battery.
So while you were on probation for, well, you hadn't been on probation.
No, I was still going to court for the first one.
Yeah, I was still going to court for the first one. And then of course, I went to the public defender's office, which I call this one a public pretender, because he didn't seem to have your best interest in heart. I said that before, and I took some slack about it. I don't think that all public defenders, I'm not used to saying public pretender now, I done stuck myself up, but I know there's a lot of good public defenders out there. It was just this particular one. So, you guys, don't write in and say all, and start bashing me saying that I'm on here saying that they're all bad. They're not. That's just like if one cop does something, the whole world seems to blow up and say that all cops are bad, and they're not. But just because one lets you down, it doesn't mean they're all, guilty of dropping the ball on their clients.
Well, this one did.
Yeah, go ahead. You can answer me.
Jim, would you mind me asking, do you feel oftentimes with everything you've been through, do you feel judged by people? Do you feel that some of the things that you've gone through are not so much people looking at you as just a regular everyday person, but they're just looking at you because you're homeless and judging you?
Oh, absolutely. No question about it.
What would you say to somebody that portrays that against you? Because I know people with disabilities, they get looked at funny when they look healthy, and I'm just wondering, what would you say from your heart?
This could be you.
Yeah, that's
It
what
could happen to anybody.
That's what I put up tonight in the opening thing on the Putman Way and stuff, is one of the questions I ask people is, what do you see when you see a homeless person? Do you see a drug addict? Do you see a criminal? Do you see a scum bucket? Or what is it that you see? Because that's a misconception that most people have when they drive down the road and they see.
I see a story.
Somebody with a backpack. I've been homeless. I know what that stuff is like. And it wasn't because I did anything wrong. It was because I got bit by a stinking shark. You didn't become homeless because you were out doing drugs. You became homeless because you got attacked by a riding lawnmower.
A red snapper, attacked by a red snapper.
Yeah. But, when you were living out in the woods and stuff, I know that was rough. I saw it. I was there. We've already went through that for you guys that want to listen to how the house collapsed on Thanksgiving Day and how he almost died in that. And you guys can go back and look at the other episodes because it'll take us more time than what we've got tonight to get into it. But it came to the point where you had to go to court. Now, you were already going to court because you were outside shooting a BB gun. And then the guy said that you were shooting it toward him. Which later we found out that I talked to one of the guys that was over there working with him who said he never even shot a BB gun over that way. Then the guy said you stood up on top of a fence and was waving a knife at him, which I found out later on from the other guy that was actually working with the guy that filed the report. He just didn't like you.
Never met the guy before.
But
Never seen him before. He just didn't like me.
Public defender refused to take the evidence and have this guy come in and go ahead and be a witness for you. So then you go and you get the girl and the guy comes in. You'd let them live there. They've been trespassed, correct?
Yes, they had been.
They come in and they start taking your food out of your house and taking other items, as I understand.
Yes, but I didn't let them in. They just decided to let themselves in.
So they broke and entered, then came in, and then from the pictures that I saw and the pictures I went over there and took, they threw and you're not a big guy. You're 5'1" and a half. I got the half in there.
Mm-hmm.
They started attacking you.
Yes.
And then they said you took a machete after them, which is where we left off last time. But
Yes,
yet there was
I
no
took a
machete or anything else found, and you wound up getting arrested.
For battery.
And because of the two charges there, you went on probation.
Yes, I was.
Because they asked you to plead guilty to one of the other ones or no contest and take the probation?
Well, they told me if I didn't plead no contest or guilty to the aggravated assault with deadly weapon, that I would then be violated on my bond, and they'd put me in jail until the trial was over on the aggravated assault with deadly weapon. And then whatever the outcome of the charge, then they would release me on bond for the battery, and then continue on to have that trial after the first one. They weren't running them concurrent. They were running them separately.
So let me get this right. You show up at court for the first case, and then all of a sudden they bring the second case up at the same time?
At the pre-trial arraignment.
Okay, and then they give you, not the judge from what I understand, was it state attorney or your attorney told you to plead?
State attorney and a public defender. Public defender came up to me and my mother right before I was to go up before the judge and gave me the alternative.
So why not just, if you're innocent, which I know you were because I know all the facts and I've did the investigation myself. If you're innocent, why not just say you're innocent and take the jail time?
Well, I did say I was innocent. I openly stated that, and I strongly was very adamant about how wrong I want to say extortion, because that's what I felt. I don't know if it is. I don't know if I can say that, but
You can say anything you want. This is
well, it's.
on
I
the
feel it was
internet,
extortion.
so-
I was given an option of either go to jail, or do what they want.
But
And it
why
was-
why not just go to jail to prove your innocence? I mean,
Because that's redundant. That's an oxymoron. Why go to jail if you're not? You're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. I was innocent, and I was made to be guilty without any type of trial. Nobody even, there was no witnesses, nothing. And the judge said, well, you've got a hard choice to make, son.
So you went ahead and pleaded no contest or guilty to the first
I pled
charge?
no contest because I was not guilty. I was not going to plead I was not going to plead guilty whatsoever. Couldn't make me do it. But no contest, under my understanding, was you're not pleading guilty, but you're admitting to you're accepting through what they're offering.
Yeah, well, pleading no contest is it's saying I'm not guilty, I'm not innocent, I'm just going to plead no contest, let the judge, the chips fall where they may. So
yeah, it puts it in the judge's hand to make a ruling.
Okay, so from there, they go ahead and put you on probation. Did they go ahead and try the second case at the same time or listen to it?
Nope, they did it completely separate.
So they postponed that. Now you get put on probation.
I wasn't even in the same courtroom. It was in a totally different court.
So, trying to stick my sticky notes up there. Calvin O, one of the guys that was on the other night, just wrote in and says that when he looks at what people they call homeless, he sees angels, not homeless people. That's a good way to look at it, Calvin. But okay, so now you get put on probation, and you're waiting for your next trial to come up. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And that's for the people coming in and assaulting you.
Entered my home and attacked me, was robbing me, and I defended my home, so my stuff didn't get stolen. I defended myself. I used no weapon, and I didn't have a phone. I didn't have transportation. I'm out in the middle of pretty much nowhere. They had a vehicle, they had phone, and they had access to, well, it was two of them. Actually, it was more than two, but two of them were actively trying to...
So they call the police on you. Police show
Yes.
up, and then do they take you to jail right then?
Yep. Well, they did a small investigation and found that there was evidence of blood in the house and outside, but they weren't conclusive of whose it was or where it came from.
Now, did you have blood on you?
No.
No. Did they have blood on them?
Yes.
They did. And what was that from?
Struggles.
The stove? What, did you pick up the stove
No,
and hit them?
struggles.
Oh, I thought you said stove.
No,
So-
I when I defended myself, I did it to my abilities, and I tried not to.
So the one guy that was with her had on an ankle bracelet, correct?
Well, yes, she did. And so did he.
They both had ankle bracelets on?
No, he had an ankle bracelet on, and there was a statement made. They were flung out the door. Yes, they may have been bigger than me, but I did fling them out the door. And that's where they got mostly hurt.
Well, I'm trying to figure out how somebody 5'1.5" can sling a girl out the door that's 5'10", 200 plus pounds, and her boyfriend, who's also a big guy.
Because I'm a Taurus. Mess with the bull, you get the horns.
Yeah, okay. Well, I still don't see that happening, how you're going to kick two people's butts. But they come in and violate your personal space. They're stealing from you, and you go to jail.
Yes.
Okay. So this is about the time I find you in the woods, and you're just trying to survive. No house to live in. You're living under a collapsed house. You're eating whatever you can find. Rats, bugs, berries, whatever you can find. I saw you cooking up some grass roots or something in a pot when I was out there the one time. It was your vegetable, and I still don't know what that is and don't want to know. It smelled pretty good, though. But so did the rat until I found out what it was. I thought it was a squirrel.
Call it chicken.
But so now you get taken to jail, and you got, because you're on probation, that's a violation of your probation, correct?
Correct.
So now what happens?
They give me a violation of probation, and they charge me with violation of probation for getting a charge while on probation. Oh, wait, no, hold on. They give me a violation of bond because I got another charge that was a violent charge while on bond. So they're going to take my bond away and put me in jail or plead no contest or guilty and get 3 years, withheld adjudication, and whatever the time was.
Now, did anybody listen to you when you kept saying, I'm innocent? Did your attorney listen to you? Did?
Yes, you did. My
And-
mom and dad, and that's about it.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about in the system. Of
No.
course, your mom and dad's always going to listen to you no matter what you do.
Well,
You're-
actually, my attorney admitted to me that he knew that I wasn't guilty of it, but there was nothing he can do. I couldn't
mean-
prove otherwise. That's
Well-
what his words were to me.
He could have done otherwise because I took him evidence, which he refused to get it. Now, for you people listening, during this whole time, I talked to Jim while he was in jail. And he had given written permission, and was notarized too, wasn't it?
Yes, it was a power attorney.
For me to go out and find the information and present it to the attorney. The attorney knew this and still did not. It was Derek Smith, by the way. If you're listening, Derek, I think you should just quit law and go work for Happy Go Lucky's hamburger joint. But he refused to take the information from me, which I thought was a load of crap. Because the information that I had, the pictures, the witnesses, and everything else could have exonerated you.
Mm-hmm.
Had he have just listened. So then,
No, if he just did his job. Not just listen, did his job.
yeah. Well, he refused to talk to me because he thought I was there as a writer and a reporter, but it shouldn't have mattered who I was. He should have taken that information, and he refused. He also refused it from your mother, too, correct?
Yes.
So
Why
why do you...
myself before I had went into jail.
Yeah, and I was in the courtroom, and I watched this waste of time while you were in the courtroom. It was just a waste, pure waste of time. And this is when I got involved with you, and we helped find you a place down in South Putnam County. I'm not going to say the place, but we find you a place. We get you a trailer donated to live in, and then all of a sudden, you started catching a cold. Now, I was with you every day, every evening. I mean, you stayed over
I
here.
stayed at your house, or your boat, for 11 days at one point. I spent 11 days around you.
Yeah, he
nonstop.
was staying at my house for 11 days. During that time, he caught a cold, and we got him Sudafed, Actifed, NyQuil, and whatever else I could get inside him to keep me from getting sick.
I'm
And
Benadryl.
him from contaminating my house and my kids. So I let him move in. He's getting this stuff. He has to go for a urine test. Now, I know for a fact, because he hasn't been out of my sight in 11 days, he's driving me totally freaking nuts because he's been living in the woods. Nobody to talk to, and he just, I mean, you just wouldn't shut up. You were driving me crazy. But that was a good thing. I know where you were coming from. So you go to probation. I took you there. I'm sitting out there waiting. They come out and tell me you flunked a drug test. Apparently because you had taken the Sudafed, which is going to show up and cause a false positive, or the Actifed, or any of the antihistamines that you were taking.
Yes.
When we get to court, they went ahead and put you in jail at that point.
Yes, that they violated my probation, and they charged me with a violation of probation due to a failed drug test.
Yeah, and then the lady...
But it was an inconclusive until they got the results back from the laboratory.
Right. Now, they came back and said, no, it showed that you tested positive. I went over to the laboratory and asked them if it would have come out a false positive. Is there any way? And the lady at the thing said, oh, sure it would if it was on Sudafed or Actifed.
I was actually with you when you found that out, and I can confirm that they did say that.
And they said it in court, too.
Yeah, they, I'm I was just reading some stuff that people were writing in. Some people come up with some dumb questions. I'm not even going to ask them to you. But now, in the courtroom, you made the fatal mistake of giving away that, you know, hey, this stuff will show up as a false positive. They bring the guy into court, some guy into court, which I found out later that this is not even an affiliated drug testing center. And that's never even brought up at court. Even when I trying to get a hold of Derek Smith, who would not contact me back, trying to give him the information, trying to show him the video that I took at their drug testing facility for the state. He didn't want to hear it, not for the state, but for the county. He didn't want to hear it. He didn't want to hear the doctors say to me that, yes, it could have tested positive if he had had Sudafed or anything else in his system. Yet they bring in their so-called witness that says no way. Yet I know of 100 other cases where they've proven that was. But at that point, what happens?
Well, their credible witness was just the person that was taking and doing the testing at the facility as their expert.
So the judge says
that it was an inconclusive, but since I was arrested due to a inconclusive drug test, it's still a direct violation of the probation because I was arrested on probation. So any type of arrest, any type of influence or inquiries or any type of incidents with a police officer, judge, or new charge, any type of problems you have while you're on probation, it's a violation of probation, and that in itself will base you to have a violation of probation, and they can sentence you to your whole time or whatever the judge's discretion.
Well, they said that I was in court that day, and they said you were a menace to society, that you were a danger and a hazard to society. So they went ahead and sentenced you to prison. Now I'm not blaming the state.
They gave me 9 months on the violation of probation.
Well, I'm not blaming the state attorney's office on this because they can only go by the evidence that they have and the lack of evidence that they have.
I didn't have an address.
Well, it was your attorney's fault for not bringing the stuff up in court. I think if the state attorney's office had known what the actual facts were, I think everything would have been dropped on you.
I think they did know because, well, one of the state attorneys actually had come over and bought something for my parents. And I directly was face-to-face with him and talked to him.
But it was a female that tried you. It wasn't
was Mendoza.
That guy. Well, yeah, Mendoza, which left the county. Thing. Yeah, Judge Mendoza left the county, and there was a few things, from what I understand, that were shady, but nothing that I can prove, so I can't really say anything.
And Judge Wolf took over.
Yeah, and Judge Wolf. But Judge Wolf only had what he could go off of. The state attorney only had what they could go off of. The key lie in Derek Smith and refusing to take the evidence. If he had presented that evidence at the trial, you should have been let go. If he would have presented it to him before it ever went to trial, you would have been let go. And that was on both cases that I had evidence. Not just one, but both cases. And the second one, where the girl was a known crackhead, thief, felon, and everything else, and that wasn't her first rodeo.
No, I didn't know her. I didn't know her.
The one that came to your house?
Yes, I didn't know her. She moved into my house while I was in jail.
No, I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about the girl that attacked you with her boyfriend.
That's what I'm talking about. There was a girl that was living with me. Her name was Lynn, and she moved out about 2 weeks after I went into jail.
So who was the girl that came in and attacked you then?
Noni.
Noni. How did you know Noni? You just said you didn't know her.
I didn't know Noni.
Okay. Well, where does she come into the picture?
She knew people that I knew and knew that I was in jail, and there was nothing I could do to get her out. So she decided to move into my house and put my dog at the dog pound kennel place, which they put my dog down so she could have her dogs there.
So while you were in jail the first time, you had these crackheads move into your house while you were gone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Without any knowledge of me besides my parents telling me that these things are happening. The person I had living there moved out. Actually, the day I went to jail, I was having her move out and kicking her out because she didn't pay anything and she was just bad. Anyway, they moved in without my knowledge or anything. I didn't know them.
I've got to go to commercial break here real quick, and then we'll get back with you. Can you hang in there for a couple minutes?
I'll have to take a drink.
If you got to go to the bathroom or anything, get up and haul boogie. If you don't, just hang on for about 3.5, 4 minutes, and we'll be done. We have the Quench the Thirst thing coming up for our firefighters. Ladies and gentlemen, our firefighters are, a lot of these guys are volunteer, these men and women. I say guys, I'm from the South, that includes both genders. And I don't think we have any transgenders, so it includes everybody, all of our firefighters. The Quench the Thirst is something that we do every year for the Putnam County volunteer firefighters and some outside of our county. And also for our first responders. But you guys, I'm only making $4 a call. They really need our help. If you guys go to Save a Lot in Crescent City, you can go in there and purchase a case of water for under $3. You can go to, you can even see Mary while you're in there. She's a nice lady. You can go to either one of the Hitchcocks in East Palatka or in Interlochen or Keystone Heights. There's actually 3 of them. But these, our firefighters, they need stuff like chips and snacks and Powerade. I mean, they get out there and they sweating like crazy, especially as hot as it's been out lately. Imagine being in a suit that weighs 60, 70 pounds and just only having water or having no water. But these guys, these men and women are out there for hours on end at wrecks, at fires, at everything. And even though we've had rain every day for the last few weeks, it only takes about 6 to 10 hours and everything is completely dried out and another fire can start. And then all hell breaks loose. But they need snacks. They like peanut butter cookies, cheese crackers. I'm sure they'd like the thing of Oreos as well. But Slim Jims are a big thing with these men and women. And just anything that you can think of that would help while you're out at a fire. Plus, get them some, pick them up a roll of toilet paper or paper towels or something too. But help our volunteer firefighters. They're one of the backbones of our community.
You can actually see that young man in the picture is one of our volunteer firemen. He was coming back from a fire that they had about a year ago in Georgetown.
Yeah,
they truly need the water, people. Please donate. It's less than $3 to get a pack. Please help.
Yeah. Okay, we have O'Reilly's Auto Parts coming up. My buddy JR over there. You guys need to go in and see him. He's there pretty much every day of the week. I think he has a cot in the back room. But check out Brian or any of the other. Tracy. She's a sweetheart. Plus, she knows auto parts. Go in there, and they're open Monday through Saturday, 7:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. And on Sundays, they're even open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. They're at 619 South Highway 19 in Palatka. And if you go in there and you find an auto part that you're looking for that's from anywhere in your county or community, as long as it's not on the internet, they will match the price and probably even beat it.
Didn't they have a special going on for an oil change special, Travis, for $25.95?
Yeah, they have oil special for $24.95 or $25.99, something like that. That includes the oil filter and everything. They also have hand cleaners. They have so much stuff on special. I'd have to do an hour-and-a-half show on the stuff they have in there for special. Let's see who we have next. We have Plaka Cinema.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
I put a special call into her today. Hopefully hear back from her. I got a surprise coming.
Oh, from Amanda?
Yeah, I got a surprise
I
coming
love
from
Amanda. If I was only 40 years younger, I'd be asking her out. She's a little sweetheart. Hey, gang, I'm here with Amanda down at Plaka Cinema. Amanda, what kind of deals you guys got going on?
Right now we have our 250 Tuesday. 250 Concession Tuesday is a deal we offer on concession items. Tickets will never be 250, but still come on down, help us support 250 Tuesday. And as always, I want to thank the people of Palatka and Putnam County for #KeepItLocal. We really do appreciate your support, and we wouldn't be here without it. And you know we always love the kids. Everything we do is for the kids. So bring them on down, help us out, and as always, hashtag keep it local.
All right, thank you, Amanda. You're the best. Yeah, I should have done that when I had my hair cut. I had that whole flip it and duck thing going on in the back of my head. I got to go over there tomorrow. I think I'll show up and surprise her.
Amanda's doing a giveaway, isn't she? She's gonna.
Oh yeah, she is. There's a 4-pack family ticket deal going on. It's 4 tickets, 4 drinks, 4 popcorns, candy, all kinds of stuff. We're going to be doing that drawing next week sometime. Also, she has a night out giveaway, a couple's night, or I think she called it a date night. Where it's a couple tickets, 1 popcorn, candy, stuff like that. You guys can register on IITWradio.com. You can register on Facebook on IITW Radio or The Putman Way. And if you go on YouTube during the show, you can also register on that. And either myself, actually it won't be me, I'm lying there. It'll either be Tammy or Marie or one of these guys will be putting the names together, and then they'll be doing the drawing. So you guys make sure you sign up for these. We also have some other cool stuff. Matter of fact, hand me that guitar.
Oh yeah, the guitars.
We've got some of our artists that are signing this guitar.
We've actually
We're
got
gonna be giving this guitar away, and it's got Calvin O's signature on it right now. He was in the studio the other night. He's a country western singer, and he's got the first signature on it. Thank you, Calvin, by the way, for signing that with us. Oh, you can't even hear it.
Yeah, we got to get tuned. And Calvin's going to be coming back in the studio. We can't get rid of him now. We truly enjoyed him. He's going to be back on the 24th of September. He's going to join us again. Yeah,
we're going to be giving that one away. And I have another one that we're probably going to be giving away right at Christmas time. But that's the Calvin O guitar giveaway. We're going to try to get a couple more artists from locally to sign it, and some from not local. So that'll be a good thing. And we're going to have a small amp. I've got to go get with the company and get a small amp. If I don't, I'll just purchase one myself, and a cord. So any of you people that are growing up that want to be, or even already grown up, that want to try your hand at music and learn how to play the guitar, I've got a company, I believe, which is going to give free music lessons with that giveaway. So make sure you watch for that.
Yeah, keep an eye out on IITW Radio Facebook, and you'll be seeing that come up pretty soon.
Okay, we got Bird Sales. Mr. Bird, if you're listening, I love this building. It's like the best. We even got a compliment from Joe Wells, the colonel for the Sheriff's Department, about it last night. And Calvin. Calvin also complimented it. The buildings over there, if you don't have credit, you can get them for storage. They can't make them into a man cave or a woman cave. What do they call that? A she shed now.
Yeah, but they can't legally sell.
They can't legally sell them.
She-shed.
But if you want to get one and turn it into yourself, that's what I'm going to do. I need to well, my son will be grown up and out of the house.
You get a hole in the wall, and
soon.
then you get to make it what you want.
But they have greenhouses, they have gazebos, they have all kinds of stuff. If you don't have good credit, he does rent to own. And they don't gouge like a lot of rent to own places. It's cheaper in a lot of situations than getting a storage unit where you have to drive across town. You're not sure if they're open or if they're closed. And I'm not knocking the storage places. We have some good storage places in our community. But if you want to get something where you can walk out your back door, throw your ex's stinky shoes in it, or even your husband or wife's stinky shoes, get them out of the house, or store stuff, they're a great way to go. Or the greenhouses, if you guys want to grow tomatoes or whatever during the winter months, or gazebo. They also have some cool ones. They have screened in buildings, and it has rooms in the back. I'm going to swing up there and get pictures of those tomorrow.
Yeah, also for those of you listening on the radio and not actually seeing, the phone number to reach them is going to be 386-328-1020, 386-328-1020. Check them out. I'll tell you what, they got one of the most professional setup and deliveries and friendliest service you've ever met.
Okay. Mr. Benio, I've been saying Benio's does. There's only certain parts of Putnam County that he goes to, and that's my mistake for saying he's not really doing any well drilling. That'll be for an outtake later. You can put that on one of our trailers, Chris.
I'll put that.
I'll put my wig in, or I get Bubba or Cletus in here to do it. But Benio's, he does well pumps, drilling. He's not doing any drilling in Putnam County, but he will do pump repair up here, or pump replacement, or well abandonment. But he's not going to drill any wells in Putnam County right now. So please don't hesitate to call him. It's Benio Pump and Wells. And the he's a great guy. I mean, he really is. He has 24-hour emergency service. Because he's out of Volusia, I don't know if he could get here in time or not, but I would call him anyways and find out. Tell him he'll cook him a home-cooked meal. Maybe that'll get him up here. But him and his wife are really, really nice people. So you guys make sure you give him a call at 386-334-1593 and just ask him if he services your area. Okay. Well, let's get back to, that should be all. We're starting to run out of time here. So I want to get back to Jim here real quick. So go ahead and pop Jim up there. You want an applause here? There you go. How's that?
I'll get back to you.
Make you feel like you're center stage. But, okay, so we left off of where you're standing in front of the judge, your public pretender at that point doesn't give the information to the state attorney's office, doesn't give it to the judge, doesn't even take it. So the judge says, what? You're going to prison? Yep. Mike, hang on, your mic's dead. Let me push a button here.
There we go. Try again.
There you go.
Tap, tap, oh, yep, that's a lot better. Yes, when I was up there in court, I pled no contest and took 3 years probation on the thoughts that they don't have any evidence against me, and I will I will file an appeal for that case and have it reversed because I wasn't guilty. There's no way they can get me a guilty sentence and make it stick. What was I wrong? So I just went on probation and had a plea out on had the attorney take care of the other case, the battery, from the woman and the guy coming in the house and robbing me while I was on bond. And because they were two totally different cases and they weren't in the same courtroom with the same judges.
But because let's move on to the second one there. When I just mentioned a minute ago, because we're running out of time, I think I'm going to have you back here one more time, buddy, to finish.
Would you like us
to
add about 5 or 10 minutes, Travis, so we can...
Do I?
Would you like us to add about 5 or 10 minutes to the show?
Well, he's got such a long story. We're going to have him back at least one more time.
Okay.
Because you're like the Murphy's Law, of life. If you just, your mom should have named you Murphy when you were born.
Is that a compliment or an insult that you're such an interesting story?
Well, it's if I didn't know everything that would happen, I would look at this and call foul and say BS. All this crap could not happen to one person. There's no way you could lose your house, lose everything, live in the woods, eat rats, eat bugs.
But you know what? He's a survivor.
Get attacked 2 different times.
He's a survivor.
Get falsely accused 2 different times. Have evidence that proves you're innocent. I mean, this is stuff you just can't make up. And the crazy thing is, I have all the paperwork. I've done the investigations myself. I've had private attorneys investigate it for me. And I know you were innocent on all accounts. But then the judge takes and he says, on your last one, where they wouldn't accept the stuff as far as you showing that Sudafed or anything else would cause a false positive. They go ahead and slap your butt in jail, right? Or not just jail.
Well, the worst part of it was I was just getting some help and things were just starting to turn around. I was getting some help, just getting to the doctors. Only seen a doctor one time. Just had an appointment with a dentist. Hadn't had things start picking up, and all of a sudden it was wiped out from underneath me. And all the people that were helping saw this in whatever it was, the paper, or heard about it. Well, then they took everything away and took everything back, and it was left with less than what I started, because at least there I was established and had a new fallen down home, and I was taken out from that because I was given a new home only to have it taken away for something I didn't even do again.
So you lost everything, you got stuff back, then you lost it again, and then Murphy's come knocking on your damn door again, and all of a sudden they toss your butt in prison.
Yep.
Which prison did they send you to?
Well, I went to Butler and then west side of Butler for about a month, and then the rest of the time I did a Gainesville work camp.
Okay. So how long were you in there?
I did my 3-year sentence collectively.
So you did 3 years for something you were not guilty of on any of the charges?
Yes.
Now, I want to thank you for coming in. I've got to close out the segment because we're out of time. I've only got...
we gave you a little bit time extra because, you know, his story is actually kind of interesting. I don't want to keep interrupting
Yeah,
him.
but I want people that are going on the radio station because YouTube will carry it on, but the radio co...
Yes, it will. We just set it up so they
Okay,
can.
you carried it on. Okay,
Yeah.
pop
You got
this...
19 minutes left.
Yeah, you got 19 minutes left on
Okay.
radio queue.
That's still not enough time, but
I know, but
we'll
I
get
think,
as much as we
this
can
story,
get in.
you know, people really need to hear his story. I don't want to keep cutting him off because, you know, every time we do commercials, unfortunately, we're leaving less time for him. And he's really got a story I think people need to listen to and take heart to.
So they go ahead and so now you're like Murphy's Law. Have you ever thought about changing your name to Murphy? You know what Murphy's Law is, don't you?
Yes.
Anything that could possibly go wrong will.
If it ain't for bad luck, it wouldn't be for any luck.
Yeah, I know. You're like the guy that walks into the proctologist office and they go, well, we're going to have to give you a colonoscopy, but we're going to give you the economy one because you can't afford the regular one, so we're going to shove a hamster up your butt with a GoPro helmet on.
Yeah, that would be about my luck. I just say no.
Yeah, it's kind of like the
we're
stuff.
going to boot us on anesthesiology.
It's kind of like the stuff you ever watched the movie Joe Dirt.
Yes, I feel very much like that.
It's kind of like, you know, if we could get you
a mullet? Yeah, it'd be nice because then I'd have hair on the top of my head now. I wouldn't be just bald.
Well, we'll see if we can work on getting you one of the Rasta-doos like he got it when he was done. But let's back up a little bit here. When I saw your foot in the condition, and you still can't walk because there's obviously two different types of material. The leg, the stuff they took off your leg, the skin, which has got hair on it. They sewed that to the bottom of your foot.
They didn't sew the hair on, but they sewed the...
Well, they sewed the patch of skin on, which has, you get infected hairs on the bottom of your foot. Correct?
Yeah, they just hold them up for, to keep them haired out.
And when you walk on this, the skin, it tears apart from the rest of your foot.
Well, I try not to let it happen, but yes, it does.
So you got constant bleeding and there's infections and stuff that's going on with it?
I've got problems on it right now from just walking on it the last couple of days, and I'm having a lot of trouble tonight.
So you're in constant pain. At that point, when I saw when you took your boot off, please don't show me that thing again. I don't want to see it. But when you took your boot off and showed me in the woods, because you weren't showering regularly and stuff, the infection was really bad. When you got out, we got you all kinds of stuff. I think we were soaking your foot in peroxide, straight peroxide and alcohol for like 3 or 4 days when we finally got you out of the woods. And you don't know how hard that was to leave your butt there every night. But at the time I was traveling out of town. I was all over the place. I didn't know you from Adam, so I wasn't going to have you staying in the house with my kids. Now that I know you more, I would have, it wouldn't have bothered me.
It was a lot easier with me standing outside the road going, don't leave me.
Now,
No.
Show me the finger. Show the people the finger. No, I don't want you to flip them off with your nub.
I can't.
Hold
It's
it.
like...
Turn your hand around the other way and let them. Okay, that's another thing. We're talking about Murphy's Law here. Good God, man.
It's pretty.
Tell me what happened to that recently.
Oh, a pit bull bit it off.
You were trying to break up 2 dogs fighting?
3
dogs.
3 dogs. 2 dogs attacked my dog, and there wasn't anybody. Well, there's two girls that were trying to help separate the dogs and nobody else. I came outside because I heard the commotion and the dogs were in full-fledged battle. And I had set up rubbing alcohol. Anytime I've ever had a dog, if I have rubbing alcohol around, if a dog gets into a fight, you just pour it on them and it will stop a fight immediately, instantly. Well, they decided whoever it was around my house took and moved the alcohol, so there was nothing to stop them. And I don't believe in beating animals. I love animals. Yes, I had to eat rats and squirrels, chipmunks, whatever it is, but still, I like animals and I love animals, so I don't hurt them. How come I lost my finger? Because there was nothing to stop the dogs. And I finally...
So it wasn't your 3 dogs, it was your 1 dog and a couple of pit bulls that... Mm-hmm. Would they come in your yard and just start mawing your dog? I mean, take me back to what happened, because I'm really curious because...
Well, I had somebody staying at the house and they had a dog. And the dog was a real good dog. I had my dog, and my dog I was training to be a therapy dog. Everybody that knew my dog Pip loves my dog. And the same dog that at my other house...
Let me stop you right there for 1 second. For you guys listening, he said he was training his dog to be a therapist dog. While he was in prison, he went through one of the pit bull parolee programs.
I was a canine trainer.
And he learned how to train dogs. So that's what he was attempting to do, which is a good program that they have in the jail systems to try to rehabilitate.
It's a very good program.
But when you say you were training dogs, for people who are looking at him going, well, how are you going to train a dog, I just wanted to let them know that you do know how to train a dog.
Yes, and I enjoy it because there's a lot of reward out of it. And there's a lot of reward when you see a family that gets a dog and they love it and the dog loves them back. And because it's the last chance for these dogs on... for the pit bulls and parolee, it's an excellent thing because these dogs help the families a lot, and it's the last chance for these dogs. And my dog was actually a salvage dog, not from the prisons or anything like that, but he had been chained to a fence and fed garbage and had been eating his own feces, and that's the only thing he had been eating. But I got my dog, and I turned around and trained that dog very well. And the other dogs were attacking my dog. And, of course, I defended my dog, and I lost my finger in the meantime.
So you go over there, and you start trying to break them up, and the 2 girls are trying to help.
Yeah, they're trying to pull them apart, but there's just too much. I got the 3rd dog away that had no leash. It was a stray dog that chummed up with my dog and her dog. My dog was on a chain, and the other person's dog was not.
So you just reach down and grab your dog, or you grab 2 of them? Or
I grabbed my dog to... get my dog away and have enough influence and blockage so they can't get to my dog. They're not trying to attack me or the girls. They were just trying to attack my dog. And when it did so, one of the dogs got my hand. And when it did, it pulled back. Well, I tried to push my hand forward, which worked because he released. But then... he clamped back down an instant later and caught with his front teeth my middle finger right by the knuckle, and he started to shake, and it popped it off, and he ate it. And then went back to attacking my dog.
So you just ripped it off like a chicken wing or something?
It popped, yes. Just popped it right off, and then the one girl, and it crushed the rest of my hand too, because I can't use my thumb, and my pinky's all mangled, and well, it ripped the finger off. Like, degloved it, but it degloved it and popped it at the knuckles. And so I lost it with a lot of the skin farther back.
So what happened to the rest of your finger? Did the dog eat it or swallow it?
Yeah, he ate it.
Good God. So you can't even get the rest of your finger back unless you're going to do the Cheech and Chong thing and follow it around with a baggie 3 days later.
Oh, yeah, I tried to hire somebody to do that, but they just couldn't keep up on it.
So you've got to go to the hospital now. I mean, what?
Well, when it happened, the one girl let go of the other dog because she ran off in the yard and threw up. So it was left with one person. And so I ran back into the house to try to get some help because there was some guys in the house. And when I went in there, I already lost my finger. Now, meanwhile, I'm in bare feet in my boxers because I was in bed. And I jump up out of bed and I just had my boxers on, ran outside, and I was confronted with this. The only two people helping was two girls that had no clue what to do.
With your luck, that's probably not a good way to go out there with boxers because they're going to see something else there, and you're lucky they didn't, take the winker with them.
Do you have the winker in the finger? It could have been rough.
Good Lord! So your finger gets bitten off,
and so I go back in the house to try to get.
Now, did you just say forget the dogs, or did they, the one figured he got him a snack and just because?
Oh no, they went
you
back
said
right
talk about that girl throwing
him.
up. Hell, I'm about to throw up myself right now. I'm thinking of this dog. Cujo munching on a finger snack. It's a whole new meaning to the word finger foods.
Oh, that's right. Because, that dog never looked. Well, the dog was different after this, but they went back to attacking my dog, and there was nothing. I knew right then and there I'd already lost a finger. Somebody's going to start getting bit. This is going to get bad really, really fast. I need to get help or figure out a way to get this to stop. Either find a weapon, or find the alcohol, or find something that's going to work. So when I went back inside, I tried to get the guys to help. They looked at me as they are stuffing their pockets with like money that's on the counters and whatever they could find. They had in there stuffing their pockets, and I saw them doing it. And they were like, "Nope, I'm not going out there. That's all you. It's not on my dogs. I'm not helping. It's all on your own." And everybody else inside is like, "Nope, I'm not helping." And so I ran back outside, and right as I go outside, I see the bottle of alcohol with just the tiniest little bit in there. I grabbed it, jumped off the porch, poured it on their face, and stopped the dogs. But then the one dog wanted to come back, but we stopped it from happening, and we separated all the dogs, and it stopped.
Well, I didn't mean to get sidetracked there because when you put your hand up there, it was like, holy crap, we got to go ahead and fill this story in since they've already seen the finger.
Yeah.
So we'll get back to that. That is nasty, man. Put that thing away.
It's almost done healing up. It's actually doesn't even have a scab anymore, and today is the first day.
Yeah, because this just recently happened. This isn't like something
months.
that happened, 5 or 6 years ago. This is just something that just happened in the last couple of months.
May 8th.
I can't wait to see what happens to you next.
Oh, no.
Lord.
No.
I hope nothing else.
Get married happily
Don't
ever
jinx him.
after.
Don't jinx him.
I'm not jinxing him. He's jinxing himself.
No, but if you think about the logic, he's had bad luck. If you're jinxing him, you get the opposite of that, so he's going to get good luck.
Jinx it, get me a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
Good Lord, I hope so. I'm not going to have you play the lottery for me because I think that'll be a waste of money.
That or scratch offs.
We truly enjoy having you on here, but we don't want to have to keep adding to the storyline.
Yeah, I don't want another story. Hell, it's going to take me another show just to finish the rest of it all.
Then he got ran over by a bus, and then a mountain.
No, but I did.
No, he's had surgery done on his neck and all kinds of stuff. But
Yeah, he's got quite the story to tell. That's why I wanted to extend it just a little bit longer. Too.
Yeah, I did fall and break my neck and walked around for like almost 3 months with a broken neck.
you'll be the only person that I know that'll get stampeded in a city by mules, slow-moving mules.
Water buffalo.
No, those things are mean. So, anyways, before you went to jail, I tried to meet with the public defender to at least tell them that it wasn't, none of your crimes were actually violent. Nobody had ever been hurt except for you.
Yes.
And I wanted to meet with them,
well,
but he refused to meet with me to let him know that I had been talking to a doctor in Boston Medical Center that was going to do your surgery, that you had a place to stay finally, that you're becoming, you were a productive member of society, that you're walking around on basically a marshmallow that keeps tearing away from the rest of your foot because the skin is a different type. It's the soft skin that's on the bottom versus the hard sole of your foot, because that's completely gone, right?
Well, they told me I'd have less than 5 years to keep my foot and my lower leg, if not the whole leg, if I kept living in the conditions I was going to live in. And they probably gave me less than a year before I'd have lost the foot itself.
And this has been how many years now? Close to 10?
10 years from the time of the accident.
Yeah. We don't have enough time. We're running out of time.
August
again.
5th, 2008. August 5th.
I can't
10 years.
extend it anymore. Last time where we left off, I remember now, was when you were sitting in the garage and you were getting ready to take a circular saw and
Yes.
cut your leg off so that they would give you a prosthetic so you didn't have to live in pain. We won't get into any more of that. Make a note for me, please, that when we come back next time, we're going to finish that part of it off.
Yeah, we're going to have him come back on August 29th. He's going to be here with Morning Fatty.
Okay. Yeah, you'll be in here with those guys.
Cool.
Well, I'll have to find out how long they're going to be in the studio. If they're coming into the studio. If they're not, then we'll have you on for a full hour. If they are coming in, we'll have to work around it, because I definitely want people to hear the rest of your story, because, I mean, it only gets worse.
It really does.
You know?
It really does.
There's a little light at the end of the tunnel, but we're not going to give them that yet. But very little light. It's like looking at the freight train either after it hits you or it's still coming back. You can't tell. You know, and that's what I want people to see. Because I'm sure they're just as intrigued as I am. I still can't wait to find out. You know, if they told me tomorrow that you stuck your thumb out or your hand hitchhiking and a train come down an asphalt road and mowed you over, I would believe it. You're probably the only person in the world that a meteor can pick out single. You know, I remember the one day when I was standing there talking to you, and we were in a parking lot down at one of the volunteer firefighters locations. And I remember you were standing there, and there was one bird way, way up. You couldn't even hardly see it, and all of a sudden splat right on your shoulders. And I'm like, it picked him out of everybody on the planet. With what was it, 200 people standing out there?
Yep.
There was 5 or 10 of us standing right around in close proximity of you, within a couple of feet talking to you.
Nobody got anything else, but
nobody got it. I mean, even the splatter attack, it went out and came back at you. Good God Almighty, as Cletus would say. But anyways, thank you for coming in tonight, Jim. I've got to finish off a couple of things and get off the air here.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, we will see
Thank you for
back.
listeners.
We'll announce the date. I've got to check and see with our other artists what date you're going to be back in. But thank you for coming in.
You're welcome, and thank you
I
for
hope
having me
only
here.
the best
Thank
for you. You
everybody.
know, I joke around and make it light, but I hope only the best for you. And there are some things we're trying to do to get you some help and stuff. So thanks for coming in, Jim.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, I hit the right button that time. I'm amazed.
You know, speaking of train, actually, there was one story that we didn't get to the other day. I would kind of like to. It's a small video, and I would like to thank this officer. He seen a man laying in front of a train and yelled at him at the very last second. He was able to get this guy out. And the guy said his training just kind of kicked in at the time.
Go ahead and put it up, because we've only got...
Yeah, it's only about a
less
30-second
than 2
video, but you can just see right here. I mean, we don't have to play the whole video, but I just want to, you know, thank that officer
Where
for...
you come from? Thank you.
Sean, what's your last name?
Oh my God, thank you so much.
Yeah, it said that he ran nearly 200 yards in New Jersey, but the officer said his training just kicked in, and the fact that the gentleman, after going to the hospital, he came back and he thanked the officer. He had a little 2-year-old at home, so good job.
That's crazy. Right place at the right time.
Amen.
I probably would have had headphones on and wouldn't have been able to hear them.
I don't know if that was outside interference. Jim's getting ready to leave the studio, and it picked up what he was saying. We had one of the mics on. Anyways, guys, you can check us out on Facebook. You can either go to the Putman Way or IITW Radio. You can go to IITWradio.com. If you go on YouTube to IITW Radio, make sure you subscribe. That way some of these people that we try to get help from can see how many people are there. A lot of companies, big corporations, they're nice companies. Some of them are not so nice. But some of them are willing to give and help others out. If they see the numbers are there, they don't mind doing the advertising. But I want to thank you guys for listening tonight. Make sure you subscribe to all of our channels. If you like what we're doing, tell us. If you don't, tell us either way. I don't care. I get hate mail all the
Let us know what we
time.
can do to improve.
Yeah. Well,
We take suggestions.
I got my
We may not
loving-
do them, but we can take them.
Mama B has started a fan club. So, anyway, she's going to be having T-shirts and stuff. So before I get out of here, thank you guys so much for listening. If you're out listening on your government cell phones, if you're homeless, we do love you. We try to get you help. If you're not out there, it's because we don't know it, or if we can't get you help, it's because we don't know who you are. Please let us know. Please call in so we can try to get some different organizations to help you. I want to thank our veterans, our fallen members. I want to thank Mr. Reese, Pastor Reese, for coming on tonight. I want to thank you guys for listening. We'll see you back here on Friday night, God willing. The creek don't rise and the government don't get me first. Please, right now, enjoy Calvin O's music.
And don't forget to hit the like button on IITW Radio's Facebook page and download our app on Google Play.
Yeah, and you guys support this next artist, Calvin O. Listen to this song. If it don't get you, nothing will.
Amen.
Move out of the country.
Good night, y'all.
Thank you, Calvin.
When the fathers got together that 4th of July day, that's when the land you're standing on became the U.S. of A. United we will stand, but divided we fall. One nation under God says it all. Men are created equal, words written in by hand. They all stand to fight when a cry for freedom rings. Freedom isn't free, it comes with a cost. One nation under God says it all. One nation under God says it all. This old world's changing, it's changing every day for the land of the free and the home of the brave. Stand up, everybody, stand proud and tall. One nation under God says it all.